My name's George Best, Chief Instructor of Hasha Karate Great Britain. So our second vlog today, we're going to look at Datchi no Kata, looking at where our stances move, how we transition, and how we look at getting the best out of our stances. So this is a video which I'm going to produce. I want you guys to come back with your stances, looking at how you move, body, how you get into those stances, speed, power, and that perfect positioning. So this is what I want you to do by sending your videos back towards me. So we're going to go through these stances now. We're going to use Datchi no Kata, working on various stances. That's forward stance, Zenkosu Datchi, Kiba Datchi, horse riding stance, back stance, and Nikowashi Datchi. So we're going to go through those stances now. First of all, starting off in Gedan Barai position. So we're going to step through using Oizuki Chudan. First of all, we're going to do this nice and slowly. So we're going to do this a couple of times. First of all, slow, intermediate, and then full speed with power. So this is where this video should take you between 40 minutes to an hour's worth of training if you do these stances correctly and train stringently. So we're going to move through now, Oizuki Chudan, nice and slowly. I step through, again being stringent, looking at my stance, looking at technique. So now we're going to turn and pivot using Gedan Barai. But again, making sure, this is where your training comes into it, you need to make sure you move correctly. Keep the same height as you turn and pivot. Spinning on the spot, spinning using Gedan Barai, but making sure you land solid. Make sure you're not up, stay down low again in your stance. So again, we're going to move through Oizuki Chudan. So again, you can see where this works with Datchi no Kata for your basics and for your kata. So I step through again using Oizuki Chudan. Slowly, looking at how I am. Height, power, technique. Be stringent with your movement. Turn in. Gedan Barai. Make sure you don't bounce back out. Make sure we stay down low as we move in our technique. Oizuki Chudan again. Slowly. Looking at how we move. Again, as we turn, spin. Land stop solid in stance. In stance. Lock in stance. Step through a little bit faster. Oizuki Chudan. Speed. Locking stance. Make sure we lock. Make sure that technique is solid. So these are techniques I want you to look at practicing. Oizuki Chudan, spinning, pivoting, turning, landing in your Datchi. The next part of this video, we're going to go through the same technique again, using Oizuki, pivoting and spinning using Gedan Barai, but also we're going to put in Gyakuzuki reverse punch. So it means being stringent with our technique. As I say, Datchi no Kata can work fantastically well with our kata and with our basics. I use this with the squad. It works fantastically well, helping them to look at their stances stringently. So we're going to start off using Gedan Barai first of all, in position. So again, we're going to step through Oizuki Chudan. So again, keep the same height. Very important. We concentrate on our stance as we step through using Oizuki Chudan, locking stance. We're going to pivot using the Gedan Barai. Remember, look at how we're pivoting. Don't be going too high. We've got to stay low. Look at your body. Look at how you're moving. So as we spin now, make sure we lock into Datchi. So we spin, locking into Datchi, keeping the same height. Using Gyakuzuki, twisting in. Keep the same height. Look at Datchi, look at bend on the knee, look at how we're moving and the flow. So our right hand is out at present. We're going to step through again using Oizuki Chudan. Again, make sure it's fast, sharp, dynamic. Again, looking at how we're moving. As we turn now, make sure we pivot fast and sharp. Using Gyakuzuki, look at Datchi. Make sure we're not twisting down. Be stringent, hip, twisting, thrusting as we use Gyakuzuki. So we just use Oizuki first of all, then pivoting Gedan Barai, stepping through again with Oizuki. The second drill, we're using Oizuki, pivoting using Gedan Barai, and with Gyakuzuki. So now this is helping us with our hips to make sure we're twisting nice and level. Don't bank and lean to one side. Make sure the body is staying straight as we use the Gyakuzuki. So you can see where these movements help within kata and within our basics. I want you to practice these movements. Come back with your videos showing me where the speed's coming from, where the power, how you transition, whereabouts do you lock in your stance, where do you develop that power. Come back with your videos. Now in these next set of techniques, we're going to look at using Shutoki. Shutoki with Gyakuzuki, but again we're going to pivot and spin back into Gedan Barai. Now there's a few elements within this drill which are very, very important. It's the transition from the Gyakuzuki into the Shutoki, where the body positioning is very, very important to make sure your foot is moving in that linear track nice and straight as we deliver the Shutoki. Now again, the transition as we spin into the Gedan Barai, again very, very tricky because the body's going to want to try and throw you off. You need to be stringent, keep the body weight low as you spin into your Gedan Barai. Again, landing strong, in good Datchi and locking in your stance. So we're going to start off first of all in Gedan Barai position. So we're going to use the Gyakuzuki Chudan. So again, slowly, again very important, these drills need to be done 1, slowly, 2, intermediate, then 3, full speed and full power once we understand exactly what we're doing and how we need to move in each part of that transition. Slowly using Gyakuzuki Chudan. Hip rotation as you move through. So now as we use the Shutoki, again, as I was saying, it's very, very important as we move through. The right leg is driving through, but we're going to stop first of all in high Dachi. Make sure we're in showman position, so the body is facing forward. The left hand is fully extended. So again, I do not want the hips twisting one side or the other. If this takes place, the leg as it lands kind of moves to one side. We don't get a correct transition, power in movement. So I want the perfect Shutoki. So again, now I tiptoe as I push, keeping the hand down to the last second and then driving it into Shutoki. So we land in the perfect Shutoki position. Toe facing forward, other foot on a 90-degree angle to the other heel. So now we're going to look at spinning. Again, very, very important. Relax the hip, but be stringent as you move, spinning and driving using Gedan Barai. So I spin using Gedan Barai, but look at the height. Make sure we're not up, make sure we're not down. Now we're going to use the Gyakuzuki Chudan once again to start off with. This is the starting base, using the Gyakuzuki Chudan. So now I'm going to slowly slide into the Shutoki, again being stringent as I move, slowly. So look at the foot position. Other foot on a 90-degree angle to the other heel, twisting, pivoting, locking stance. Use Gyakuzuki. A little bit faster. Intermediate speed, be stringent as you move, flow, glide into Shuto, toe must be forward. Twist, pivot, keep the same height, Gyakuzuki. So these are Datchi no Kata, which I use with the squad. Helps with transition of movement, helps with hip movement, Datchi. You practice, show me your techniques, show me again where the speed comes from, how we use our hips, how we flow in that transition from Gyakuzuki into Shutoki, and again how we spin from Shutoki into Gedan Barai to deliver the Gyakuzuki without falling out of your Datchi. Again, very important. Now these next set of movements, we're going to be looking at Kibadatchi. Again, twisting and pivoting back into Kibadatchi, but again, very important. The line of the feet are very, very important. Lots of people, when they do their basics, they land in their Kibadatchi and their feet are out of line. So you can see that they're staggered and they're not perfectly back in line. Again, this tells me now that the hip's not moving through in a linear track. They're not moving through into high Dachi as they move to twist and land and pivot into their Datchi. It's telling me they're swinging into stance. So what we're going to do is look at rectifying that. And this is where Datchi no Kata comes in. We're going to look at Kibadatchi, starting off using Gyakuzuki Chudan, and then transitioning through into Kibadatchi, looking at how we're going to flow, moving back out that twisting and turning, back into Kibadatchi again. So it's going to be starting off doing it slow, intermediate, and then full speed. Again, it's very, very important you look at doing these drills, 40 minutes, possibly an hour. What we're going to do is go through all these sections of drills stringently, slowly, intermediate, full speed, in order for you to get the perfect Datchi each and every single time when you do your basics and when we do our kata. This is how we're going to look at doing this. We step through first of all into Gedan Barai. We're in Gedan Barai position. So we're going to use Gyakuzuki first of all. I use Gyakuzuki hip rotation slowly. Now we're going to step forward into Gedambarai. Look at the transition, keep the same height. So as I'm moving now, the halfway position, I'm moving through halfway position. Look at the feet position. So the toes are facing forward. As I start to drive through, tiptoe, so the foot is going perfectly straight. And then last second I drive, look at feet, perfectly in line as I land using Gedambarai in Datchi. We're going to twist and pivot. So now, don't swing the body. What people want to do is swing all the way around. But watch the body movement. As I start to move, the leg comes through again into high seat Datchi. So we're transferring in a straight line. So all maximum power comes through into Datchi as I land, legs perfectly level in Datchi. I block up and then use Gyakuzuki. We start the process again, moving through into Datchi. So nice and slowly, driving through. Look at the feet position. We're going to twist now. One continual motion. Blocking up in the air. Using Gyakuzuki. Once again, look at the transition. Look at how I'm moving. Keep the same height. Look at the hip rotation. I need perfect power. Do not want the body leaning to one side. I want the body being straight as I move. The last and final technique in this transition is Nikawashi Datchi. Very tricky yet again. So we're going to slowly go through this process. Remember, I need you to practice this 40 minutes for an hour. All the drills, looking at how you're going to transition through. Just don't rush it. It doesn't happen overnight. So I need you to look at practicing these movements. Okay? Slowly, intermediate, full speed. So we're going to start off first of all in Gedambarai position. So we start off the movement in Gedambarai position. We're going to move through into Nikawashi Datchi. Again, very important when we do this technique. As we start to transition through, I want to keep the same height. I don't want to go up in the air. From where the feet is, I want to drive it through. Drive through. But just using the tiptoe as I move through to keep the balance, so the hands move through too. So slowly as I move, so we get the perfect transition into Nikawashi Datchi. So look at the foot facing forward. Make sure the foot isn't out to the side. I want it nice and tight as we move through. Moving back into Gedambarai. Keep the same height. Slowly transitioning through. Move hands and hips moving at the same time. Do not let the hip go past the point of your knee. If the hip goes past the point of your knee, what tends to happen is we get this swinging action, and that's when the body goes forward, which we see sometimes when people are practicing in their kata or doing their basics. The hip goes forward. That's because one, they've gone too high, and two, they're swinging through. So it's very, very important we keep the same height. Make sure the hip stays level with the opposite hip. Do not let it go too far forward, it stays level. So from Gedambarai position, we move through slowly. Think about our hip, and as we're moving, think about the height as we move. Come back into position again, starting position. Slowly as we move. Back into position. Slowly as we move. Back into position. So you can see the height positioning as I'm moving through, and the control of the hip and the leg as I move through into Nikawashi Datchi. So these are movements I want you to practice. Again, think about where your hips are, think about where the height is. Come back with your video. I want it slow, I want it intermediate, and then I want it fast. But I want it perfect. Get some practice done, guys. I look forward to seeing your videos.